If you ever had that thought, if I was just more confident, my life would finally move forward. Well, let me gently pause that idea for just a moment because most women think confidence is the problem. And rarely is it ever truly the root issue. Confidence is usually not the culprit. Confidence is usually not the root issue. It's just a signal. And once you learn what this signal is really pointing to, you'll be able to actually make the progress that builds momentum that you've been craving. We don't look at a plant and automatically think that something must be wrong with it if it's not growing. We usually start asking questions. Does it have the right amount of sunlight? Does it need water? Does it need food? What environment does it really need to thrive in? Maybe it's better by this window instead of that one. We ask all of these questions when a plant isn't growing, when we should be doing the same when confidence doesn't show up. Because confidence works just like a plant that's growing. Confidence grows, but under the right conditions. Here's what I tend to see over and over again. Most women don't lack confidence, but they do lack connection to themselves because the more that you downplay who you are, the more that you set your own needs on the back burner, the more that you downplay your own special gifts and talents, confidence fades the more that you second guess yourself, set your own needs on the back burner, or downplay your own brilliance. Those things slowly chip away at your confidence. And then one day you wake up and you're wondering where your confidence went. When all along, those were the very things that were chiseling away at your confidence. Confidence is just like fruit. You will never go outside and tape fruit to a tree. You wait for that tree to produce fruit. Well, self love is the soil that your confidence grows in. So, the key to confidence is really building it off of your self love. And if your confidence is low, it's really a signal to take a look at your level of self love. There's another really important layer that I really want to take some time and highlight because we are so good at worst case scenario. Like, if there was an award for worst case scenario givers, we would be at the top of the line. And I say we because I'm talking about my old self. Listen, I have always been really good at being able to see things from so many different, but the one that I used to dwell in was the negative. If there was a possible outcome and it was going to be negative, I could give you all of the details and all of the ins and outs of it. We're great at worst case scenario. But what if those exact same signals were not pointing you towards the worst case scenario? And so often that is the way that we interpret things that are happening in our life. We think that if we're sad, that it means something negative, when really that sadness is just a signal pointing you to something that needs your attention. It needs your love and care. So, why don't you take a moment to just think about when you are thinking of a situation? Do you tend to be the glass half full or do you tend to lean more on the glass half empty? And it's okay if you tend to lean to the glass is half empty. It is okay to be there. I was there once, and the good thing is that perspectives can always shift. So, what I invite you to is to start thinking about the best case scenario. I will never forget a coaching session that I had with my coach. I call her my angel on earth. And we were talking about me really going after this whole coaching thing. And I had thought of all of the worst case scenarios because that's what I was good at. And that's the perspective that I tended to lean into more than anything. And then she asked me, but what if it's possible that there are positive possibilities? And at the time, it wasn't even something that was on my radar. It wasn't even an option that I even thought of. So, how many times have you found yourself in a situation where you need to think through your choices and think through your options? And it seems like all of the options are negative. And again, no shade, no judgment, because that used to be me. And I'm speaking to her right now if I'm not speaking to you. But we tend to take the signals that we get and automatically interpret them to mean something. But the positive is also available. I think that's a quote from Tony Robbins where he says something to that effect. But I really want you to start thinking about positive possibilities because, yes, the worst case scenarios, those are possibilities also. But in this new year, let's start leaning into the positive. Let's not interpret every single thing to mean something negative because, regardless of what the situation is, you always are in charge of the meaning that you assign to it. And that meaning that you assign to that situation is what your experience will be. And I don't know about you, but I'm ready for more positive experiences. I'm ready for more positive possibilities. So let's start with the way that we interpret things. And when you find yourself having a feeling or an emotion, even if you still tend to lean towards the worst case scenario, let's also remember that the positive is also available and explore those positive options because you just might find something there that is so much more worthwhile than the negative. So let's lean into the positive, okay? If you are here 10 times out of 10, it's because you know deep down inside there is a confident version of you that exists. And now you've been tasked with aligning with her. So, when you think about other confident women that you see moving about this earth, and they look like they don't have a care in this world, they look fearless. Tiana Taylor, Beyonce, like there's so many amazing powerhouse women that you can think of that are walking this planet looking like the most confident version of themselves. And if it exists for them, then it exists for you. Now it's just about aligning with that confident version of you. And the confident version of you, she's not waiting around to feel confident. She's just making decisions and moving. And the more that you make a decision and move, make another decision and move again, the more that you practice that on repeat, the more reps you put in to build up the confidence that you want to feel. When an instrument is out of tune, You don't just throw the instrument out. You actually tune the thing up. And your confidence works the exact same way. Your level of confidence is an instrument and it needs to be fine tuned. And the way that you do that is by making decisions and taking actions. You can take a baby step if that's what it takes, because I'm a fan of all steps. I don't care if it's a big step, a bold step, a baby step, a half of a baby step. You do what you have to do when you have to do it. I love all size steps, honey. Okay. I'm inclusive when it comes to the steps. And I want you to be inclusive too when you are thinking about what decision it is that you need to make next and deciding from that place what is the move that you are going to make. It doesn't have to be the biggest, most grand, most audacious move that there is. You are okay to work yourself up to that. Now, listen, I'm all about being confident and empowered. And I believe that when you're in that space and you're making your choices from that place, that's where those bold moves really happen the most. And you can be afraid and make some bold moves. You could have all the courage in the world and make bold moves. The important thing is that you make a decision. You decide that confidence and you go together. And if you are having a hard time believing that, then it is just your signal. It is your sign that it is time to move. So I encourage you, if you do nothing else, and if you take nothing else away from this here video, confidence is an instrument that you fine tune. And the way that you do that is by making decisions and making moves, whether they're baby steps, bold moves, somewhere in between. The size is not what matters in this case, okay, ladies? That's not what it is right here. That's not what's important. You can take some baby steps until you build up the momentum for you to take the bold moves. That is okay if that's what it takes. But if you wake up tomorrow and you feel a bold move come upon you, I say take it. You don't have to ask anyone for permission. You grant yourself the permission, because confidence is not something that you wait for. It is something that you condition. It is something that you practice. So let's practice being confident by taking action and building up the momentum that you really want to feel. And one more thing, I highlighted it briefly earlier when I talked about self love. And I truly believe that self love is your foundation, it is the root of everything. And when you finally love yourself, I mean, fully love yourself, like love yourself in all of your wholeness right now. Because the biggest myth, the biggest lie is that you are incomplete, that you're broken, that there's something within you that needs to be fixed. There isn't anything within you that needs to be fixed. Are there things that you can improve upon? Sure, absolutely. We will be doing that until the time that this life ends. That is ongoing. And it will probably even go on even after that, because we don't know what's next in the afterlife. But while we are here, we will always be a work in progress. There will always be things to improve upon. But even with that, it does not mean that you are incomplete. You are whole and complete right now. You are not missing anything. You are not lacking anything, including confidence. You lack nothing. You are already complete. And when you accept that about yourself, when you recognize that about yourself, when you love yourself fully from that place, that is when the things that you want in your life will begin to unfold in beautiful, magical ways you could be just beyond your imagination. So, woo, I love self love so much. I just get fired up talking about that thing, okay? So, you better love yourself. And I mean fully, flaws and all. Flaws and all. Love yourself as is. You can always improve upon things. You can always make things better. You can always become more of the person, the woman that you want to be. You can always do that. And at the same time, fully love yourself as is because you're already whole and complete. Mm, 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 mm. Oh, that's good. If you are watching this and realizing just how much time you've spent second guessing yourself, constantly doubting and ruminating on conversations, even questioning if you've made the right decision in some areas, trust me, you are not broken. What often gets labeled as a confidence issue is really just you living inside of your head for far too long. And that gets exhausting. So, if you are ready to step out of that loop and stop making your decisions from a place of fear and actually make your decisions from a place of self love, the main character momentum builder will help you do exactly that. It helps you to get clear, it helps you to slow down long enough to listen and connect to your. It's linked below whenever you're ready. And one more thing before we go. Remember, confidence is not something that you chase. You don't have to perform your way to confidence. It's something that you connect to when you align with the best of who you are now and make your decisions and take action from that place. Friend, nothing is wrong with you. The way that you become the best version of yourself is by aligning with her now. I hope that you love this video. This was so much fun making for you. Leave any questions or any comments that you have down below in the comment section. I love reading your comments. And if you have questions, I would love to answer them in a future video. Speaking of future videos, in the next video, I'm telling you why insecurity isn't really the problem, and I'm pointing you towards exactly what is. So make sure that you come back tomorrow, and I'll see you then.